Welcome back. You're still tuned into Commodity Central, and let's now put the spotlight on India's poultry industry then. Poultry industry wants the government to allow import of genetically modified maize. And let's understand why is that. Poultry industry, remember, is facing tough competition from the ethanol industry for maize. Out of the country's total estimated annual production of maize, which stands at about 42 million tons, the ethanol industry requires 12 to 15 million tons. So supply of maize for the poultry industry is now a problem. To understand what the poultry industry exactly wants from the government, we now have Shri Uday Singh Bayas, President, Indian Poultry Equipments and Manufacturers Association and Poultry India, now joining us. Mr. Bayas, afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us today. First up, if you can tell us what really is the problem and how much have maize prices risen by on account of short supply in the domestic market?
I would start my statement by saying that the government is very strongly supporting the ethanol used for the corn, basically, first of all. The corn, the production basically currently about 6 million tons of maize are used for ethanol production, and the number is expected to go up every year. And this is the one of the reasons why there is acute shortage of maize and corn coming up. And if the government understands that they have to keep happy the poultry industry, they have to allow GM import so that the yield for that can be utilized by both the end, like the ethanol purpose and also for the poultry farming purpose. So this is our main concern today, wherein we can see that basically if we go by the figures, the agriculture farmer, basically we have a very traditional way of, cultivation. So that's the way we don't have much of production coming up. So that's the reason the government is paying the minimum MRPs of 24 rupees, wherein it can also, if this GM modified corn is allowed inside India, then they can also come down to 16 rupees per kg, and that would also benefit both the sectors. So in my view, that this is very important time that the government should take an initiative on this lines.
Okay, and since we are talking about maize prices, Mr. Bayas, if you can tell us how much were the prices say 1 year ago, and as a result of this, how much have prices risen by?
See, if you compare it, the price is approximately 10 to 15% is going annually up. And that's the reason where because poultry sector is a very, very sensitive sector, wherein the cost of the egg production is only with hardly any paisa, or we have only 15 to 20 paisa every day, marginal changes coming up. When you see the percentage of the, the cost going up, it's very difficult to maintain the price stability in the poultry market.
You're expecting the government to allow import of genetically modified maize. But other than that, any other ask that you have from the government, if the government were to support in any other form, what will that be?
Well, they should allow the agriculture. They can have either the government gives us the authority to get our own deploy the ICR into getting more methods of good productivity. They have to take it on the government level to have more scientific approach to get more yield out of the number of hectares in India. Because here, when we compare it, it's hardly we have very limited area of production coming up. So if that is given more of opportunity, if the technicals our ICR and other departments work on that lines, and I'm sure we can improve the at least in our own, as we are looking forward for sustainability and all that. So definitely that will really give us more impact if we have our own production line in India, and more scientific development takes place from our agriculture departments and all that.
All right, so that's the situation when it comes to domestic maize availability and the kind of problem poultry industry is facing. Mr. Bayas, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now and helping us understand what really is the problem. Thanks so much for joining us today. But shifting focus to some other domestic and national stories then.